All right, it's been about a year now since I had this Mr. Heater Fuel Keg refillable 1 pound propane tank, and actually I have about 6 of them now. Just wanted to do a follow-up review, letting you know some things I like, some things maybe I don't like about it, and kind of just giving you opinion on what I think about it, and if it's worth it or if you should go buy it versus filling up some other tanks. So I owned the Flame King for probably 4 or 5 years and refilled those over 100 times, and I really like the Flame King tanks. I thought it was a kind of a breakthrough technology, having the ability to refill these safely and legally. What I've kind of found is that Mr. Heater improved on that Flame King tank, so I think it did make it a little better system. I'm not saying one's necessarily better than the other. I do prefer this Fuel Keg over the other Flame King one, and for sure over just refilling, the disposable 1 pound tanks. That's just not safe, and I wouldn't recommend doing that at all. All right, so just to let everyone know that hasn't saw my other videos, the Fuel Keg 1 pound tank is a refillable system. I'll show you. We'll go outside and do it. It comes with a stand and a valve, and basically you can just refill these over and over again. What I find makes this better than the Flame King tank is this this valve right here. Basically, it's just it's a key ring that you can just open and close as it's refilling. And the Flame King tank has a Allen wrench with a set screw in there, and it works fine. It's just sometimes you lose that Allen wrench, or you have to have that tool, otherwise it's not going to work. The tool is built into this one. I think that's what makes this system a little better. The other thing I think makes this Fuel Keg a little better system is the stand that comes with. The Flame King tank has just like this, it's kind of a chintzy stand, which I never used. I used the tailgate of my truck anyways. But the Fuel Keg comes with like 3 nylon, wedge stands that you screw onto the tank, and it's better for storage. You can take them off, store them easier, and it feels like a more sturdy system. So I think between the Fuel Keg and the Flame King, those are the things that really set it apart, is the valve system and the stands. Another semi-minor difference between the Flame King and the Fuel Keg is the Flame King has like a little plastic stem in the filler valve that fits into a little tab in the nozzle. The Fuel Keg has the same system. It's keyed. The difference is the Fuel Keg has a metal pin, and it's kind of keyed in there. It's kind of cut out and notched. So what it does is just makes it a little easier to line up, and it doesn't break. My Flame King one broke off. I guess kind of the side bonus of that is when it does break off, you can actually use the disposable, Coleman 1 pound tanks. And that's kind of what this is designed for. It's proprietary, so you're not able to just put any tank on there that you want. But my Flame King one broke. It made it a little easier to screw on there because I didn't have to line anything up, but it did break. And I think probably a lot of them are going to end up breaking just because they're plastic and they're, you're constantly screwing these on and off. And I don't think this one's going to break. I think it's a more robust system. So I do prefer that on the Fuel Keg as well. One of the questions I saw come up quite a bit, and I thought it myself too, was if, this release valve, if you open it up with a full tank, is it going to leak? And it's not. You have to have that little pin in there depressed, and once that is depressed and then you open it up, then you will have the release of the gas. So if this is sitting around and someone inadvertently bumps it or opens it up, it's going to be fine. No issues whatsoever, unless that tab is depressed in there. So it's a really good system. It does take a little bit of torque to open it, so you're not really going to bump it anyways. But I do like that it's built right in there. So then I'll mention one of the things that I kind of do not like about this Fuel Keg, and I think it probably can be improved, and maybe it has been, in the last year or so, but I have been having some issues. There's a little plastic sleeve inside of there. It's kind of a compression sleeve right in the middle of the center there. It's a plastic sleeve, and then there's a rubber O-ring that sits underneath it. I've been having this plastic sleeve just want to come off, like when I put it on an appliance or the filler valve. I take it off and I look and I notice that plastic sleeve and O-ring is left, on the appliance or the filler valve. And you will notice, some leaking as you're screwing it on and taking it off, and it just doesn't work as it's supposed to. And then you go to look and yeah, it's gone. So I have had that issue, and I have seen where others have had that issue too. So one of the things I kind of suspected is that the sleeve was not seated in there as far as it should go. So what I did is I just took basically a deep well socket, a real tiny deep well socket, and just kind of pounded it in there a little bit just to set it in there a little harder. And I have not have as many issues as I had in the past. But I do see it still come out from time to time, and I just have to reset it in there. So do keep an eye on that. If you're having some issues with it not working like it's supposed to, go ahead and take a look in there and see if the sleeve, the plastic white sleeve in there, I don't know what that's made out of, nylon or something like that. And then there's an O-ring underneath there. So if you are having issues, look at your tank, because there might be a chance that that sleeve is gone. And it, like I said, it's an easy fix. But yeah, if that sleeve is missing, you're going to have some gas leaking, and just not a real safe situation to have propane leaks, you know, around heaters and stuff. So keep an eye out for that. Like I said, I have had these for about a year now. I've mostly used it in this Big Buddy heater, and I've also used it on my propane grill throughout the summer. And I can't even tell you how many times I've refilled these. I do guide trips, and I have been taking the Big Buddy out on the boat with me, and every single night we're burning through 2 pounds of propane. So I just come home, refill them, and head out back for the next night. So, you know, probably 50 to 60 times I've refilled these tanks, and no issues other than that sleeve from time to time. So I definitely think if you're going through quite a bit of propane, it's worth it for sure. And I have found that I kind of am starting to prefer these 1 pound tanks over, you know, you can hook up a 20 pound tank right up directly to this heater. But for me, I'm finding it's just more convenient to keep refilling these. The one thing that I find is more convenient is it's a lot lighter. You don't have to carry the tank out every time you go fishing. But the other thing is, you know exactly how much propane you have left. You're not, you know, shaking the tank around or lifting it up or weighing it, or just guessing, you know, how much propane is left, and then you end up running out. This way, you know exactly how much you have left. When you have, you know, full tanks sitting there ready to go, you can do the math very easily to figure out how much time you have left with your heat. And it's nice to have a couple extra just laying around, you know, in a backup. So, all right, I'll quit babbling. Let's go outside, and I'll just do a quick demonstration how to refill these again. And for those of you that saw that, you probably don't have to watch this again. But for those of you just joining, you will want to see how we do this, and it's really easy. Let's go do it. So here's a stand system I was talking about. They're just thumb screws, you know, that attach, and you'll just want to spread those around evenly. And then this is the filler valve, and then this is the little pin I was talking about that fits in that key. But yeah, essentially all you got to do is open this up, and then we'll flip the tank upside down, and I'll show you how to connect that. Like I said, I like to use the tailgate of my truck, but all you have to do is line up this tab, right, so we get that screwed on tight. This valve is open, and then we just open this, and we just press this down, and we wait for the gas. It should take about a minute. You see that gas starting to come out. You wait till you get a steady flow. Let off that, and then close your valve, and there you go. Unscrew that, you got a full tank.